I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer spoke on the Senate floor Thursday after the Women's Health Protection Act failed to pass in the Senate. This legislation would have codified abortion rights into federal law. Schumer blasted, quote, radical MAGA Republicans who want to get rid of Roe. Here's more from the New York Senator.
Majority Leader.
I ask unanimous consent the quorum be dispensed with.
Without objection.
Now, Madam President, yesterday, the American people saw for themselves a glaring contrast between Democrats who will fight to protect women's rights to make decisions about their own body and MAGA Republicans pushing to send mothers and doctors to jail and institute nationwide abortion bans. With Roe on the brink of elimination, this issue will not go away. As Americans vote later this year, they will choose between radical MAGA Republicans who want to get rid of Roe, push national bans on abortion, and even throw doctors and women in jail, or pro-choice Democrats who will protect a woman's right to make her own decisions when it comes to her body. Let me say that again. The contrast facing the American people is now simple. Either elect more MAGA Republicans who want to push for sweeping national bans on abortion, or support pro-choice Democrats who will protect a woman's rights to make her own decisions about her body. Either elect more MAGA Republicans who want forced pregnancies and who champion bans without exceptions even for rape or incest, or support pro-choice Democrats who will protect a woman's right to make her own decisions. Either elect more MAGA Republicans who want to prosecute and even imprison women and doctors for carrying out abortions, and mere friends who give rides to clinics as well, or support pro-choice Democrats who will protect a woman's rights. Americans are going to see that contrast again and again and again as Democrats keep highlighting this very important and vital issue. And as much as Republicans will try to deflect, distort, or distract, the unbendable truth is that their anti-women views are wildly out of step with the American people. Just look at what's happening across the country. Democrats across the country are confidently highlighting their support for a woman's right to make her own choices. And while the MAGA Republicans may want to brag about their plans for a nationwide abortion ban and sending women and doctors to jail, the clear majority of Americans disagree with that extremist position. That's why Republican campaign committees are urging their candidates to avoid the subject of abortion, because they know their views are out of step. Again, Democrats across the country are now talking about this issue, even doing campaign ads about this issue. The Republican spinmeisters are telling their colleagues, avoid the issue. So it's obvious to everyone who is on what side. Republicans can run, but can't hide from the horror they've created. Yesterday's vote was only one step, not the end, of our fight to protect women's rights. This issue will keep coming back up again and again and again between now and when voters go to the polls later this year. Now on Ukraine. In the immediate future, Republicans need to work with Democrats to pass another round of critical emergency funding for the people of Ukraine. We have a moral obligation to act and to act swiftly. The House already passed the Ukraine package with overwhelming bipartisan support. It should be no different here in the Senate. Both of our caucuses heard loud and clear from the Ukrainian ambassador earlier this week that time is of the essence. I urge my Republican colleagues to work with Democrats to get a funding package done as soon as possible, ASAP. Republicans shouldn't block this bill. There is no reason whatever, not to get Ukraine funding approved fast. I also call on my colleagues to swiftly pass additional legislation to arm the federal government with the tools needed to liquidate assets seized from Russian oligarchs, yachts, mansions, private jets, art collections, and more. It should be a no-brainer to provide the tools necessary to go after crooked Russian oligarchs, but nevertheless House Republicans bewilderingly opposed adding these tools in the House package. The Senate should do better. Both parties should work quickly and decisively to get this done through regular order. This issue should certainly be a bipartisan issue. As the war in Ukraine enters its third bloody month, we must leave no stone unturned in making Putin and his cronies pay a price and helping the Ukrainian people. Their fight against Russian aggression is a struggle between democracy and authoritarianism itself. So there should be no question about which side America stands on. I urge my Republican colleagues not to block this legislation, but to work with us to quickly get this passed through the chamber. Everyone can have their own idea, but if everyone has their own idea, we'll get nothing done. We have to come together on a bill that's gotten broad bipartisan support in the House and in the Senate. Now, on nominations. It's been a productive week on the Senate floor when it comes to nominations. Earlier this week, the Senate finally confirmed a highly qualified and historic nominee to serve on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, Lisa Cook. Coming from humble beginnings in rural Georgia, where her family fought segregation, Ms. Cook will be the first black woman ever to sit on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. She's a professor of economics at Michigan State, a member of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago's Advisory Board, and she served as a senior economist in President Obama's Council of Economic Advisors. She absolutely belongs on the board, and I'm glad she was finally confirmed. Yesterday, we also confirmed Alvaro Bedoya as a commissioner on the Federal Trade Commission, breaking a 2-2 deadlock that has kept the FTC from full strength for over a year. Mr. Bedoya's nomination is fantastic news for the American people. The FTC will be empowered to fight against price gougers, market manipulators, and go after bad actors using anti-competitive practices to drive up prices. We have been urging the FTC, for instance, to look at market manipulation and price gouging when it comes to gasoline, and now they will have the ability to do so because the Republican commissioners refused to move forward, but now we have a majority of Democrats on that commission. This week, the Senate also confirmed another Fed nominee, Philip Jefferson, and secured Democratic majorities on important labor-focused agencies, including the Federal Labor Relations Authority. Next week, we'll also start the process to confirm more Democrats to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Finally, later today, the Senate will vote on Jerome Powell to serve another term as chairman of the Federal Reserve. Few institutions are more important to help steer our economy in the right direction and to fight inflation than the Fed. Chairman Powell presided as Fed chair during some of the most challenging moments in modern American history. I thank all of my colleagues, particularly Senator Brown, chairman of our Banking Committee, who have worked to move forward with this important nomination. And finally, on USICA. Today, our bipartisan Jobs and Competition Bill will take another step forward when the Conference Committee holds its first public meeting. The jobs and competition legislation is just what the doctor ordered to boost our economy, bring manufacturing jobs back home, and lower costs for American families. Many across the country want to see this bill done. A recent letter from over 240 state and local chambers of commerce called on Congress to act, citing its importance for critical technologies like semiconductors. One economic analysis also found that enacting this bill would help add or preserve as many as 3 million jobs to the U.S. economy. 3 million jobs. And it could be more, as new innovations and new markets unlock new opportunities yet unknown. There's still a lot of work to do before we send this jobs bill to the President's desk, and not everyone's going to get what they want. But even so, today's first public meeting is a great step forward. The bill is a most worthy and important effort, one that will pay dividends for years to come. I yield the floor, and for the moment, note the absence of